Hey guys, as always, thanks for stopping by. It's the Thursday Buzz. Let's talk about that. If you're new and never seen one of these, Thursdays, I do a roundup from around the web, all sorts of stories that I want to get onto your radar, shorter versions, and I think these are important to know about. Some of them are funny, some of them are important, and some of them we're going to circle back to eventually. Buckle up, here we go. Hey, this episode is brought to you by CMMG. One thing I've never mentioned to you is their conversion kits. Take your favorite AR and convert it to a 22 or a 9mm. I converted my 5.56 into a 5.7 and it's awesome. And of course, you can also pick your favorite color. Check it out and a whole lot more over at CMMG Inc. To each of y'all, thank you for every thumbs up. My understanding is episode 2 of Dr. Appalachia is going to be dropping over on the network tonight. There's a link below over to the network. Those of y'all that have already found it, it's a lot of fun. I'm really proud of that episode, so I hope y'all enjoy. All right, it's time for the Thursday Buzz. I really enjoyed doing these, and the one at the very end, I think it's just important. I think where we are headed as a country is not always what we see in the news, or at least the ones that lead the news. Sometimes they get buried underneath. So I've worked on these. Let me know what y'all think about all of this nonsense. All right. Next, the deputy spokesperson for the Child Sniffers Administration's State Department. So this is the State Department's new spokesperson or deputy spokesperson. Her name is Jelena Porter. Yeah, and turns out she's a complete dumpster fire. It was unearthed this week in 2016. She says this, the largest or the biggest threat to national security, and she said these words, it's not Russia, China, or ISIS, it is the police. And she called them the Ku Klux Klan. That's some scary stuff right there, brought to you by the Child Sniffers Administration. Next. All right, for you Catholics out there, we're talking about excommunication, not a word we use on this channel very often, but there's some turmoil among church leaders because they're about to have to make a decision on whether the Child Sniffers abortion policy is worthy of being excommunicated. There's a whole thing going on down in Mexico and all sorts of stuff over our government funding garbage in Mexico. It's a mess. Let me know down below, all you Catholics, what y'all think. Next, speaking of circling back, Jen Psaki, she has been a lot of fun and a lot of nonsense already in this new administration, and she's my favorite thing about the administration because she is a chuckle a day. Scary if it wasn't so funny. Yeah, Jen Psaki's been in a little hot water over the last couple days. This first one's bad. She made a snarky remark over American military. Wow, Space Force. Sarcastic about a legitimate branch of the U.S. military. Yep, wow, Space Force. Also, the journalists that cover the White House, they're not happy with her because she has challenged their journalistic integrity, because she has asked them if they're going to submit any tough questions during a press conference to let her know ahead of time. Now, the funny thing about this circus of journalists is they still think they have a shred of credibility, and that offended them. So Jen Psaki's in hot water over that. Also, turns out, not that long ago, she made a homophobic slur against the OG, Lindsey Graham, called him Lady G. If I was Lindsey Graham's press secretary or anyone in his communication department, I would tell him to embrace that term because it's kind of funny, but not in the way that Jen Psaki said. But will she get in hot water over that? Nope, because she's from the left and she is immune from all of reality. Next, John Kerry recently went to accept another award on behalf of his work to protect the environment. And how did he get there? In a private jet. And he defended it, saying he had carbon offsets. For those of y'all that enjoy conspiracy stuff, check me out over on Patreon. That's not a sales pitch. That's where we do the more of the conspiracy fun stuff. Ask yourself, or maybe do a little research on the DuckDuckGo, who sells carbon offsets and who owns those companies? Next. All right, AOC. This is maybe my favorite story of the week. AOC, in tears, got on to Twitter and was talking about her experiences, her near-death experience during the Capitol insurrection. And she goes into painful detail of hiding against the wall. And they were saying, the words were, "Where is she? Where is she?" Because, when they stormed the Capitol, they're looking for AOC. and it turns out she wasn't even in the Capitol building. It's kind of reminiscent of David Hogg, who wasn't even in the Parkland school during that bad situation, but now he calls himself a survivor. So AOC has made herself into a juicy sommelier, which is hilarious. Trending on Twitter today is hashtag Alexandria Ocasio-Smollett. That's funny. Corn pop. Next. All right, bad news. Bad news. The cost of living is going up. We allegedly voted him in. Cost of living is now going up. I know that's bad news. Wanted it to be on your radar. And finally, next, this one is not all that, I don't like the word sexy, but it's not. It doesn't have like this, like great play. It doesn't look that great on to talk about it or the photos that come with it. Biden's brand new Ag Secretary, so the Secretary of Agriculture, his first move as Ag Secretary, and this is bad, was to sell the largest shipment of corn and ethanol ever to an overseas entity, China. His very first move was to sell corn and ethanol. It's the largest shipment we've ever shipped out of this country over to China. Follow the money, follow the Chinese connections. This is not good. And the reason I want this to be on your radar, I think these are the big moves that don't get talked about. And these are the things that are going to slowly erode our economy. Maybe not even slowly, like it's going to be bad. Hello, $6 a gallon gas coming right around the corner. Why? Because we elected a child sniffer. It's a mess, and that's the Thursday buzz. A lot of creators are getting popped and silenced to anyone that is against anybody, and anybody, either side of the aisle, from having a voice, social media or otherwise, to anyone that is against the people having a voice from my cold, dead hands. See y'all tomorrow on Spicy Friday. I got a hot and spicy meatball for you. Bye.